Lunalight, known in the Japanese as Moonlight, is a fusion-focused archetype of dark and light attributed beast warrior type monsters. I see what they did there. They're light and dark attributed. Moonlight, it's in the night sky, dark, and then the moon is obviously reflecting light and darkness. It's quite clever. The deck's core strategy is to quickly fusion summon powerful monsters that can unleash a devastating barrage of consecutive attacks to win the duel through sheer offensive force. This is exemplified best by how most of the monsters in this archetype are up in the echelons of best beast warriors in the entire game. For example, the 20th most powerful beast warrior is the 2800 attack Lunalight Panther Dancer. The 9th most powerful beast warrior is Lunalight Saber Dancer with 3000 attack. The 3rd most powerful beast warrior monster is Lunalight Leo Dancer with 3500 attack. And in first place as the most powerful beast warrior type monster alongside Beast Machine King Barbaros is Lunalight Liger Dancer with 3800 attack. And technically Lunalight Liger Dancer should be at the top as it has 3500 defense and is level 12, which is superior to Barbaros. Their anime debut was in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. They were used by a character called Serena, who was one of the 4 counterparts alongside Ruri, Xyz, Rin, Synchro, and Yuzu Pendulum, who are all fractured versions of a single being named Rei. Now, while the Bracelet Girls had mixed amount of screen time, Serena did pretty well for herself. She got decent screen time, and she did really well. With her Lunalights, she went on a consistent win streak, only suffering defeats towards the end of the series where she battled the main protagonist, and as well as his Synchro counterpart. And even then, in one of those duels, Serena was being mind controlled and playing some non-Lunalight cards in her deck. So, was it a real loss for Serena? I'll let you be the judge. In the real world, the Lunalight cards released in the 2016 booster pack, Shining Victories. Their most recent support arrived with Duelist Advance, which gave it some much needed support that has upgraded the archetype into something more modern and formidable. Now, each of the core main deck Lunalight monsters, well, it's made up of a color associated with them, as well as a type of animal or creature. So how about we go through every single one and learn what they can do? Let's start first with Lunalight White Rabbit. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one Lunalight monster in your grave, special summon it in defense. Once per turn, you can target a spell or trap your opponent controls, up to the number of other Lunalight cards you control, return them to the hand. Now, Japan, rabbits, and the moon. These seem unrelated to us, but actually, they tell a tale. If you ever wondered why in Mario Odyssey there were a bunch of rabbits on the moon, well, it comes from the Japanese folklore tale, the Moon Rabbit, also known as Tsuki no Usagi. Every time I hear the word Usagi, which means rabbit obviously, it always reminds me of the anime called Usagi Drop, which was a really good anime. It was lovely. It was about a father that adopts a child, and I heard what happened after the anime finished. Horrible! The Moon Rabbit tale tells of a moon deity who descended to Earth as a beggar and asked 3 animals for food. While the fox and monkey brought offerings, the rabbit could only gather grass. So the rabbit selflessly threw himself into a fire to offer his own body as a meal. Touched by the rabbit's sacrifice, the deity revealed himself and immortalized the generous rabbit on the moon, where he can be seen pounding ingredients into rice cakes. So if you wondered as well, why does this monster have a mallet as a weapon? He's using the mallets to make the mochi, the rice cakes. Lord, it's incredible, right? Lunalight Black Sheep. Its effect is you can discard this card and activate one of these effects. Add a Lunalight monster from your grave to your hand, or add 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent to the grave as a fusion material for a fusion summon, you can add to your hand 1 face-up Lunalight Pendulum monster from your extra deck, or 1 Lunalight monster from your grave. Lunalight Purple Butterfly. You can send this card from your hand or field to the grave, target 1 Lunalight monster you control, it gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn. You can banish this card from your grave, special summon a Lunalight monster from your hand. Lunalight Yellow Marten. If this card is in your hand or grave, you can target one Lunalight card you control, return it to the hand, and if you do, special summon this card in defense. But banish this card when it leaves the field. If this card is sent to the grave by card effect, you can add one Lunalight spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Lunalight Blue Cat. If this card is special summoned, you can target one Lunalight monster you control. Its attack becomes double its original attack until the end of this turn. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Lunalight monster from your deck. Lunalight Crimson Fox. If this card is sent to the grave by card effect, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change its attack to 0 until the end of this turn. When a card or effect is activated that targets a Lunalight monster you control, quick effect, you can banish this card from your grave, negate the activation. If you do, each player gains 1000 life points. Lunalight Emerald Bird. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can send one Lunalight card from your hand to the grave, and if you do, draw one card. If this card is sent to the grave by a card effect, you can target one of your level 4 or lower Lunalight monsters that is banished or in your grave, special summon it in defense, but its effects are negated. Lunalight Kaleido Chick. Once per turn, you can send one Lunalight monster from your deck or extra deck to the grave. The name of this face-up card on the field can be treated as the sent monsters, if used as a fusion material this turn. If this card is sent to the grave by card effect, you can target one polymerization in your grave, add it to your hand. If this card is banished, you can activate this effect this turn. Your opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated during the battle phase. Now we actually have a gold and silver pairing that work really well with each other. These are Lunalight Gold Leo. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand, then discard one card. If a Lunalight monster is sent to your grave while this card is in your monster zone, even during the damage step, you can target one of them, add it to your hand. Lunalight Silverhound. If this card is sent to the grave by card effect, you can special summon one Lunalight monster from your deck. But you cannot special summon from the extra deck except Lunalight monsters, while you control that face-up monster. When a spell / trap card or effect is activated on the field, quick effect, you can banish this card, and one Lunalight fusion monster from your grave, negate the activation. So how do these two things combo well? You can activate a card like Lunalight Masquerade to send Lunalight Silverhound from your deck to the grave. The effect of Silverhound can then be used to special summon Lunalight Gold Leo from your deck. Once Gold Leo is on the field, its effect can be used to search for other important Lunalight cards, which allow you to set up a fusion summon of one of your bigger Lunalight monsters. Finally, we have the last two Lunalight main deck monsters, which of course these cards came out during the Arc 5 era, so we have the Pendulum monsters, and there's only two of them. What makes these cards distinct, not only being Pendulum monsters, is that they're the only non-dark monsters in the entire archetype, instead being light attributed. Lunalight Tiger. Its Pendulum effect reads, once per turn, you can target one Lunalight monster in your grave, special summon it, but it cannot attack and its effects are negated. Also, it's destroyed during the end phase. Its monster effect is if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one Lunalight monster in your grave, special summon it. Lunalight Wolf. Its Pendulum effect reads, you cannot Pendulum summon monsters except Lunalight monsters. This effect cannot be negated. Once per turn, you can fusion summon one Lunalight fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your field or grave. Its monster effect is, if a Lunalight monster you control attacks a defense edition monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Fun fact about Wolf, it was actually censored for international release by covering up her exposed crotch. For the Lunalights, when polymerization is introduced, we start getting the big monsters. And these are Lunalight Perfume Dancer. Requires two Lunalight monsters to be summoned. If this card is fusion summoned, you can add one Lunalight Perfume from your deck to your hand. You can target one other Lunalight card you control, return it to the hand or extra deck. Then you can special summon one Lunalight monster from your hand. You can banish this card from your grave this turn. All monsters your opponent control lose attack equal to the original defense. So the card that this monster can search is actually this card right here, Lunalight Perfume. Its effect is target one Lunalight monster in your grave, special summon it. You can banish this card from your grave, discard one card, add one Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand. Lunalight Cat Dancer. Requires two Lunalight monsters. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, during your main phase, you contribute one other Lunalight monster. For the rest of this turn, the first time each monster your opponent controls would be destroyed by a battle, it is not destroyed. Also, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls twice each this turn. If this card declares an attack, inflict 100 damage to your opponent. Lunalight Cat Dancer has an upgraded form, which it is one of the fusion materials for. Lunalight Panther Dancer requires Lunalight Cat Dancer and a Lunalight monster. Cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Once per turn during your main phase 1, you can activate this effect. For the rest of this turn, the first time each monster your opponent controls would be destroyed by a battle, it is not destroyed. Also, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls twice each. This turn, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by a battle, this card gains 200 attack until the end of the battle phase. This upgraded monster has an upgraded form itself, as it is one of the fusion materials for it. Lunalight Leo Dancer requires Lunalight Panther Dancer and 2 Lunalight monsters. You cannot target this card with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase. Once per turn at the end of the damage step, if this card attacked a monster, you can destroy all special summon monsters your opponent controls. All 3 of these fusion monsters have an upgraded form. Their final form is known as Lunalight Saber Dancer. Requires 3 Lunalight monsters. Gains 200 attack for each Beast Warrior monster that is banished or in the grave. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the grave, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 fusion monster you control, it gains 3000 attack until the end of this turn. This monster's design is an amalgamation of the 3 other fusions. As well, speaking of its design, this monster is the only other card in this entire archetype to be censored for its international release. She got her side boob covered up. And guess what? We're still not done with upgraded forms. We have a different ultimate form. Leo Dancer has a direct ultimate evolution in the form of Lunalight Liger Dancer. Requires Lunalight Leo Dancer and 3 Lunalight monsters. It's unaffected by card effects, except Lunalight cards. It can make a second attack during each battle phase, and once per turn, quick effect, you can send 1 Lunalight monster from your extra deck to the grave to destroy all your opponent's special summon monsters. It's the biggest fusion in the archetype, requiring 4 monsters in total. But if you think about it, it's even bigger than that. 4 monsters to make this 1 monster, but each of those monsters required monsters to be made because, stay with me, Liger Dancer can only be made using Leo Dancer. But to make Leo Dancer, you need to use Panther Dancer, which to fuse needs Lunalight Cat Dancer, which needs 2 monsters for its fusion summon. So I think if my maths is right, if we add all of the fusion monsters and fusion materials, that's like 10 monsters in 1 monster, I'm pretty sure. That's if you want to make it legitimately. No one's ever going to make this legitimately, making every single one of the Cat Dancer evolutions and then fusing them all together. You just cheese it out. How do you cheese it out? It's very simple. Summon Kaleido Chick, activate its effect to take on the name of Leo Dancer, then use Lunalight Wolf's ability, which allows you to fuse using the field and the graveyard, and then just make the most powerful Beast Warrior in the game just a whole lot simpler. In terms of the spells and traps, we have Lunalight Fusion. Fusion summon 1 Lunalight Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. If your opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can use 1 Lunalight monster in your deck or extra deck as a material. There you go, there's another way of cheesing out that ultimate Liger as well. Lunalight Masquerade. During your main phase, if this card was activated this turn, you can send 1 Lunalight monster from your deck to the grave. If you fusion summon a Lunalight monster, you can add 1 polymerization from your graveyard or banishment to your hand. Then you can discard 1 card, and if you do, once, if you fusion summon a Lunalight monster this turn, you can also banish monsters from your graveyard as a material. Lunalight Reincarnation Dance. If a monster you control is destroyed by a battle or card effect, add up to 2 Lunalight monsters from your deck to your hand. Lunalight Serenade Dance. When a fusion monster is fusion summoned to your field, you can target one of those monsters, apply these effects in sequence. Special summon 1 Lunalight token to your opponent's field. That target gains 500 attack for each monster your opponent controls, even if this card leaves the field. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your grave, send one card from your hand to the grave, and if you do, special summon a Lunalight monster from your deck. Finally, we have this card, which all of the Bracelet Girls can be used since it works with every single one of their decks, and it hard counters Zark's deck, punishing dragon users. This card is Kyorei Getsu, which translates to Song, Ice, Grace, and Moon. Special summon a level 4 or lower Fairy Spellcaster, Winged Beast, or Beast Warrior monster from your hand, and if you do, equip it with this card. Then you can return all dragon monsters on the field to the hand. During the end phase, if this card is in the grave because it was sent there from the spell and trap zone this turn, while face up, you can add one polymerization spell, fusion spell, or fusion parasite from your deck to your hand. Now, after all of the cards we've talked about today, if you want to play a Lunalight deck, everything can have a niche use, of course, but if you're going to build a deck, these are the cards I'd recommend you put in as a kind of skeleton, at the very least, and then you can mix and match it, whatever you want after. These cards are 2 to 3 copies of Black Sheep, 2 copies of Silver Hound, 3 copies of Gold Leo, 1 to 2 copies of Kaleido Chick, 1 copy of Emerald Bird, 1 copy of Tiger, 1 copy of Wolf, 1 to 2 copies of Yellow Martin, 2 to 3 copies of Perfume, Lunalight Fusion, 2 to 3 copies of Lunalight Masquerade. If you're feeling spicy, you can throw in a Lunalight Serenade Dance. As well, for the extra deck, you want to play 1 to 2 copies of Lunalight Perfume Dancer, 1 copy of Lunalight Cat Dancer, 2 copies of Leo Dancer, 1 copy of Saber Dancer, and 2 copies of Liger Dancer. And with that, that's the Lunalight archetype done. Want to see another Bracelet Girl archetype video? Well, maybe if you subscribe, you'll be there when the next one comes out. But other than that, thank you all for watching. Check out one of these videos if you fancy. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.